C.A.T.I stands for Computer-Aided Telephonic Interviewing. We receive telephone files from our client and load them onto our system. Our interviewers will then conduct telephonic surveys by contacting the respondents. All the data collected is then sent to the data processing department. The project manager will then review the data and prepare a report for the client. Call centers play a huge role in market research because the interviewers are at the forefront of collecting data directly from the respondent. This methodology is convenient and effective because it allows us to source primary data from the customer.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us on today's episode. My name is Pinky Leah and I am your host on the Remark podcast, where we will be talking all things market research. Welcome Clive, and thank you for joining us today. Would you kindly please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Pinky. My name is Clive Kariri. I'm a call center agent for Plus 94 Research, which is an independent market research company. And thank you once again for calling talented. I really love that fact. And as I love to call it, it's called Plus 94, the best.
That is awesome, Clive. So what role do call centers play in market research?
That's a very good question. We as call center agents, the role that we play is that we dig, or I like to say, we mine the information from the respondents that we speak to, from the people that we speak to, as we take primary data from them with regards to what they're receiving from different entities or different institutions. That's mainly the role that we play, that we take information or we take the primary data from our clients.
Oh wow, that sounds very interesting. So Clive, you're mentioning a lot about primary data. Would you mind explaining to us what do you mean by primary data?
Okay, so by this I mean that the information that we get from our clients. Let me give you an example. So let's say, for example, we're doing a particular project with regards to the services that a different company or specific company wants to improve on. So we speak to these different people or the people that are using a certain product with regards to the changes that they want to imply on that specific product, or with regards to the things that they want to maintain when it comes to that specific entity or specific product. So that's the information that we get from them, then we send it or pass it forward to our superiors.
All right. What does C.A.T.I stand for?
Okay, so C.A.T.I stands for Computer Aided Telephonic Interview.
Oh wow, that sounds very interesting. And how does C.A.T.I work?
So C.A.T.I, it's in different components. What we usually do is that I'm going to give examples of Plus 94 Research since I work for this company. We are the people that are on the forefront when it comes to speaking to the respondents. So in a research environment, as I work for Plus 94 Research, we speak to these respondents, taking information from them regarding how they are being treated with regards to the different entities, as I mentioned earlier on, the different products that they are using. And also we mine that information from them. We probe for additional reasons. We ask for clarity and also confirm, and also with regards to getting the valid information from them, which is the main aim, to get the valid information from our clients.
Thank you, Clive, for all that interesting information. I think from what I'm understanding in terms of what you do, essentially you're saying you guys are on the forefront of collecting the primary data and everything. Your role seems to be very important because I'm assuming if you guys don't do the job correctly, all the data that gets processed after that will be like sort of invalid or wrong. So what skills would you say are required to become a C.A.T.I agent? That's
a very, very good question. And I feel like most people or most companies fail to understand what skills are really needed for someone to be a C.A.T.I agent. So for me specifically, I understand that anyone can be a C.A.T.I agent. If you take someone out down the street, they can be a C.A.T.I agent, but it requires proper training, it requires proper sacrifice, proper discipline for someone to actually be in terms of a proper C.A.T.I agent. I'm going to give you a few examples with regards to the skills that are really required. So let's say, for example, firstly, we're focusing on effective communication. So a proper C.A.T.I agent needs to have effective communication with regards to how we speak to people, because this is our daily thing. We speak to people on a daily basis. So as I've mentioned, that it requires someone who has proper knowledge, and also a person who's willing to listen, a person who's attentive, because it's not only about oral communication. You need to also be an attentive listener, because we speak to different people, different backgrounds. So if you are an attentive listener, you tend to understand where the person is coming from, the background of the person, the income the person is, their race. When it comes to C.A.T.I, we speak to different people of different backgrounds, and people are going through a lot. We've been just going through COVID. So you need to understand that when you speak to people, you need to be an attentive listener, to listen to whatever they're telling you, and also being able to validate the information that you're receiving. And another attribute of C.A.T.I skill is you need to be a person who's able to work as a team player, because it requires a lot. Call center, it's a very fast-paced environment. So you need to be able to work as a team player, because we have a lot of projects that are being run in the call center. So you need to be a person who maneuver around different projects, because remember, sometimes we have deadlines that needs to be met. Things can just change randomly. So you need to be able to change, and that's where the team player comes into play. You need to be also a person who has emotional stability. You need to check yourself before you start your day to say, you know what, Clive, am I ready to do this? Am I emotional stable, like when it comes to work? Because remember, as I mentioned, that we've been through COVID, people are going through a lot, people are losing their jobs and things like that. So when you speak to somebody on the phone, you need to be able to understand that, you know what, this person might be irritated by you calling. Some of them might even shout at you and say things that are unnecessary to you, or things that might hurt your feelings. So as an interviewer or as a C.A.T.I agent, you need to be able, by all means, to remain on the same flow, to understand the person that you're speaking to. And also, I would like to highlight the issue of discipline in a C.A.T environment. Mainly, I would say discipline is the main factor that makes one to be a very productive C.A.T agent. So when it comes to discipline, you need to know the reason why you come to work every day. You need to know the reason why you are here. You need to know that you need to meet the company halfway. You need to also know that what's happening in the company, the targets that we are pushing, the project that we have. And then also, least but not least, you need to be a productive person. So when it comes to productive, I'm referring to that whatever project that you're given, it might be for a few minutes, it might be for quite some time. You need to be able, by all means, to push the product so that you can meet the company target. So those are just a few attributes of what a call center, or the skills that are required for one to be a C.A.T agent.
Oh, wow. I think when people tend to hear a call center agent, they tend to think of it not being as an important job or adding any sort of value, to our economy. Thank you so much for shedding some light on that. So after all the skills that you've listed for us today, have you received any training to help you sort of harvest those skills that you already have?
Definitely, yes. So I received training from Plus 94 Research. Firstly, I would like to say it's grouped into two categories. There's formal training, there's informal training. So when it comes to formal training, it's those training that you do for interview, you come for work. So I'm going to give highlights for the company that I'm working for, which is Plus 94 Research. So for Plus 94 Research, after you do training, you get introduced to the different departments that the company has. You get introduced to the people that are working those departments. You also introduced to the products or the project that we're working on. So when I came to Plus 94 Research, I learned a lot when it comes to training, because I really appreciate the supervisors or the team leaders who are assisting us when it comes to training, because they showed us the right way on how to conduct interviews. Let's say, for example, with regards to, before I came here, I didn't know what probing is. But they showed us when it comes to interviewing, when it comes to training, firstly, you need to probe in terms of getting the correct information from the respondent. You need to ask for additional reasons, and also confirm the answers that you're getting from the respondent, and also understand the people that you're speaking to. So when it comes to training, I really appreciate the training that I received. And when it comes to the informal side, this is the training whereby we're getting. So let's say, for example, when I was sitting, I remember the time when I started working for Plus 94 Research, we're grouped into teams. So each individual, our leaders would understand the weaknesses of a particular individual. So we would sit, the next person that will sit next to you would someone with your advantage or your strength. So let's say, for example, I was putting a team leader who has strength when it comes to talking, a team leader who has strength when it comes to motivating people to speak. So if I'm a person who's not good when it comes to speaking much, the person that I was sitting next to would help me when it comes to speaking and get success, having a high success rate. And then also with regards to that, I love the fact that we work with different people, different age groups, different races, different educational qualifications, which also helped us to learn a lot with regards to how to be a better person, how to move forward in a call center environment. As I mentioned, that call center is a very, really, really fast environment. So you need to learn quick, you need to adapt to the next person that is sitting next to you.
Wow. I think it's safe to say that definitely those communication skills have worked there on you. And I don't know, like you mentioned that you were put in a group where someone had great communication skill. I've definitely picking up on that, which is great. Describe the working environment.
That's a very, very good question. Call center environment, what I would say is it's really an interesting environment to work for. For me, I would say that I really enjoyed working for the call center because when I came to Plus 94, that was my first time experience working in a call center. And I've learned a lot. And then as we know that South Africa is a very diverse culture, and with different languages, with different people and different ethnic groups. So when I came to the call center, we're working with different people from different areas, different backgrounds. That helped me a lot in the sense that you tend to understand different people, where they're coming from, where they're going, their goals and things like that. So in the environment now, as we are here for Plus 94, I've learned that you need to be a patient person. You need to be very patient. You need to practice patience when you're speaking to these people. You need to also to understand that people are not the same. And I love our management in the sense that they tend to understand that we're not the same. And the way that they deal with us is not the same. So let's say other people are are not morning people. There are people who are like that. They're not morning people. Other people are not even afternoon people. So they tend to understand and to deal with different people, to understand and also make sure that they accommodate everyone. I understand that we're going through a lot. Other people are having difficulties at home, but they try by all means to understand and make us be one. Because remember, I always give an example that in a call center environment, as workmates or as colleagues, we are part of a tree. Other people are branches, other people are the roots, other people are the leaves. So we are one. So as interviewers or as colleagues, we tend to understand that you cannot survive without the next person. We work as a team. That's the call center environment. That's how we work as colleagues. We assist each other. If someone is lacking somewhere, you help them, explain to them and show them the right way or guide them to do the right thing. So in terms of the environment, I really like the environment because it helped me a lot to be the person that I am now.
Thank you, Clive. Would you kindly please explain your role in the research process and the importance of an interviewer in a research company?
Thank you very much for that. So my role as an interviewer, as a C.A.T.I agent in a research company, firstly, I would like to give you an example before I start explaining.
Thank you. These examples are so helpful.
So let's say, for example, we're doing research for this particular, let me say these stones that are here. Right, these are white, right? So you have your own company that you want us to talk to the people or talk to the people that are buying your product, right? You come to us, you come to Plus 94 Research and say, you know what? I would want your interviewers or your C.A.T.I agents to talk to my customers with regards to the satisfaction that they're getting from this specific product.
Okay.
We now as interviewers, we speak to your clients and ask them, okay, ma'am, sir, what is it that you want this product to be? What improvements do you want the product to be? So let's say, for example, it's too white or it's too soft. They tell us, you know what, Clive, I really enjoy using this product, but I would prefer if it was big, this light, if it was a bit bigger, if it was a bit smaller. So when it comes to the role, we send the information back to the client so that they can improve basing on the information that you've received from their clients. Also with regards to the water, right? It might be too alkaline. We also speak to people and ask them, do you enjoy drinking the water? Does it quench your thirst? Do you enjoy drinking it when you're running a marathon? Do you enjoy drinking it when you're in the office? Those are some of the questions that we ask these respondents that we speak to. So when it comes to now my role as an interviewer, I speak to these people. I'm at the forefront asking questions, getting information from them, the correct information, not just ordinary information. Because the main purpose of why we're doing this is to get the valid information from them, the information that has to make sense to the third person who was not part of the interview. So if you were to listen or if you were to read what I write or the information that I got from the client, you need to be able to understand and know and see a picture of what was transpiring during that call, basing on the information that I was getting. So when it comes to the end part of us as interviewers or C.A.T.I agents, the information that we collect has to be accurate. That's the most important thing. We have to collect valid information from the client so that when we send the information back to the client, they can make a change. They can improve on certain products that they want to improve or maintain, or whatever they are maintaining on. So I would say that we as interviewers will play, or K.T.I agents will play a very vital role when it comes to the end process, or when it comes to the changes that are happening in the market in the day-to-day world.
That's amazing. I think it's simply put, that's just amazing. The fact that you guys communicate to people's customers or clients, like you say, to find out what needs improving, what's not working for us out there. I think it's very important. And on that note, explain to us how your role contributes to the final result of the research report.
That's a very good question. I want to give you an example of the things that we use on a day-to-day basis. Let's say, for example, we use taxis, coming to work, going to work, taking kids to school. When it comes to taxis, some taxis you might not feel comfortable sitting in a taxi. So when a client comes to say, you know what, Clive or Plus 94, I want you guys to help me with this. We speak to the people who use those taxis on a day-to-day basis, asking them, are they comfortable? Are they feeling safe? Are they reaching their time in the workplaces in the right time that they want to reach them? So when we speak to those people, they give us feedback and say, you know what, Clive or Plus 94, I would prefer if these things could change. So when we send the data now to the client, they know that this specific product has to change when it comes to its comfortability, when it comes to the speed, or maybe the tires. So we as interviewers or K.T.I agents play a vital role when it comes to, as I mentioned earlier, that the changes that are happening in our day-to-day lives. Let's say, for example, we were faced with COVID, and then a lot of things has happened. Most people lost their jobs, company closed, and things like that. We speak to those people, trying to understand what they're going through. Other people are not able to pay back their bonds, their vehicle asset finance, or even finish their educational studies because of the impact that COVID has caused. So we speak to those people, trying to understand if there can be a plan that can be made for them to continue paying, or maybe after a certain period of time. So I feel, as I've mentioned, that we play a vital role when it comes to changing the world at a large, changing South Africa, and then also trying to understand and then spread the word to everybody that research is really important.
Thank you, Clive. That's exceptional. That's very exceptional and so vital for such work that's needed in our economy to make sure that we are improving. I feel like a lot happens in a marketing research, or should I say K.T environment, correct? Wow. So out of everything that's been happening this year, what has been your highlights while working in the call center?
Wow. That's a very, very interesting question. My highlight working in a call center or for K.T, there's a lot involved, honestly speaking. I've learned a lot being in a call center or being a K.T agent. For the company that I work for, Plus 94, there's a lot of growth that I can say. I remember when I started working here, I was an interviewer, I became a team leader, I became a validator.
Oh, wow.
In all those positions, I've learned that you don't get there on your own. See, you don't, as I mentioned earlier on, that call center environment is like a tree. You don't get to the higher position without the help of your colleagues. I've learned that you need to pull the next person. You need to pull the person behind you. It's not only about your success, but it's for the success of the whole team. Remember, in an environment like this, you don't work as in one entity or as a living entity, you work as a team. So if you're getting having a success rate and the person who's sitting next to you is not doing well, it's something that demotivates the other person. So you need to pull the next person. You need to help the next person who's sitting next to you. You need to be able to move forward as a team, not as an entity. So this year, I would say my highlight, what I've learned is to be a team player. And I appreciate the training that I had. I appreciate all the people that I've been working with to assist me to be that kind of a person, to pull the next person who's next to me.
Wow, that is amazing. Let's keep on pulling each other up, right? Thank you, Clive.
You're welcome.
Since you deal with so many projects, right? So which project would you say did you enjoy working on the most?
Well, for me, that's a bit challenging in the sense that I've managed to be part of the people who have dialed or been through all the projects that the company offers. But above all, I would say the most project that I enjoy the most there's a project that we were doing for one of these big financial institutions in the banking sector. And in this project, we were speaking to people that does finances for large corporates.
Wow.
People are always busy. People are always in meetings. People are always flying to different destinations. And for me, as a person, I love challenges a lot.
Yes.
And I've learned that when you're speaking to these people, you need to find ways to maneuver around, to motivate them to give you their time. For someone who's doing finances for a large corporate, a few minutes, even 5 minutes for them,
It's a lot of time.
it's a lot of time, you see. So you need to do research on your own. Apart from the research that you're getting at work in terms of the training, as an individual now, you need to sit down and think like, you know what, I need to do my own research. And I did my own research in terms of finding out how to talk to these people, how to motivate them to give me their time. So I would say that most project that I enjoyed the most is what they call business banking. I love business banking a lot, and it gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
It's giving me goosebumps. It sounds so important.
The name itself, it's something else. So that's the most project that I enjoy doing. It's called business banking. It helps me a lot in terms of being a person, being patient. Sometimes you can be on hold for about 5 minutes for someone being, Clive, hold on, I'll be back to you. So you need to be patient, you need to be kind, you need to be responsible as well. So I think business banking is the most project that I've enjoyed dialing.
Thank you, Clive.
You're welcome.
Now that we are done with all the formalities for today, we have a special segment that we have on our podcast called Judge the Ad.
Okay.
Basically, we're just going to show you an advert, and then you can give us your thoughts on the advert. Maybe if you can give some relation to what you do with the adverts as well, that will be amazing. Interesting advert,
Very
so
interesting.
hilarious and so funny. All right, Clive, so what's your take on our advert for today?
Well, the advert is really nice. I got confused a bit in the middle. Call center, Pakistan, America, the spider. Like, okay, where is this going? I don't understand where this is going. Then something clinked into my mind and said, you know what, Clive? This is you. I put myself in that position. And I said, I speak to different people every day. It's like it's a triangle. Let me give you an example of this triangle. It can be on both sides. It doesn't have an end. It's just continuing. I'm on the other corner. The lady that I'm speaking to is on the other corner. The spider's on the other corner. Right. So we as people in an environment with what I've seen on the ad is that the lady that the guy was speaking to, as someone was going through emotional breakdown, she was going through personal things in her own capacity. And this call center agent managed to assist the lady. It might not be financially or physically, but he was there emotionally. He gave the person time to speak to her. She became open to the person and then also was willing to talk to the guy. So I learned that in anything that you do, not only in the call center environment, if you're speaking to someone, it might be in person or telephonically, you need to understand where the person is coming from. People are going through a lot every day. That spider, I remember she mentioned that spider could have been squashed if she had said it to those people who work there, but she hid it. She understood the spider's perspective, that I'm not here to attack. I'm just here for nature. The spider was on the flowers. She did what she could to protect the spider. And without knowing that can be a present to someone. That person was being bullied at work. That spider made a lot of difference. It's a present. Maybe that person never get a present from anyone. So getting a present of a spider, actually, it's not about the spider in there. It's about the gesture that the lady did by giving a present.
Just providing that recognition of the work that he does.
True that. So as a person with that ad that we just watched, to all viewers out there, be a change to someone's life. Be an inspiration. As I've mentioned, that pull someone to you. Don't live as an entity, but try by all means to make a difference and make a change. That's what I've learned from that ad.
Oh, thank you, Clive. It's been an honor having you here. So the word of today is pull someone up and be that change. Thank you, Clive.
Thank you so much, Pinky. I would like to say thank you for all the viewers that have been watching us. This is the end of our episode today. Please click the link below, subscribe and like it. Also, don't forget to share for us and the crew behind the scenes. It's art.
So we are finally done with all the formalities and we've come to our favorite part of the show where I get to ask you a question and you get to answer it in hopes to win some money. So the question for today is, what does C.A.T.I stand for?